Dana was talking about doing an event on the 9th of May. He's promoting this stacked card. It seems really deluded, in my opinion. I really do see it as a way of just giving fans false hope. It's a beautiful fantasy dream of MMA fights slapped onto a screen on my phone, and I just know it's not going to happen. Uncle Dana, you have done it again. I'm baffled. I'm actually baffled. It's fight day. It's fight day, lads! I did an Insta post this morning with the famous picture of Anthony Pettis when he fought Tony Ferguson. That photo perfectly sums up the way I'm feeling about it, and you can follow that Insta at Joe the Atom, #ad. You can also follow my personal Insta at Joe Patterson UK. Wonder if I'm losing subscribers. I can't believe it. I really cannot believe it. We are here. We're at fight day. I didn't think fight day was going to happen. I really didn't. I just had this vision, this fantasy that this event was going down, but it was a fantasy, you know. It was always going to be in my brain, and that was it. Dana White is infamous for making things that seem impossible possible. Now, I'm bigging him up, saying that there's no controversy and no problems surrounding it. Jacare Souza tested positive for corona. Like, yeah. That's bad. 2 of his cornermen also tested positive, as per Ariel Helwani's Twitter. So yeah, I mean, there's risks, there's controversy surrounding this whole thing, but we get to watch some fist fights. I don't give a f***. I'm hoping to do a reaction video with my dad to all the fights. The way we usually do it, because we live in the UK and most of the events are held in the US, we can't watch them live generally unless we get up at like 3, 4 a.m. One of my most popular videos is like one time where we did stay up and watch it, and it was the Conor McGregor-Nate Diaz fight. And that video got over 60,000 views, I believe. So who knows, maybe I could get some banging views out of this and yeah, splash the cash. So I'm here making this video to do a few predictions on the fights I'm interested in. I'm not going to do a play-by-play on all of the fights on the entire card, because I did that before and it was a proper grind. I'm just going to give my thoughts on the fights that I'm interested in, and yeah, just see if my opinion, my prediction matches yours. Put your predictions for these fights that I talk about down in the comments. First fight I want to talk about is Donald Cerrone versus Anthony Pettis, the rematch. Their last fight ended in a vicious body kick finish for Anthony Pettis. Since then, Pettis had a brief shot at featherweight, lost a couple fights there, jumped back into lightweight and then jumped up to welterweight. Had a bit of a varied run there as well, had a spectacular knockout over Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. But saying that, he's lost 2 of his last 3. He lost to Diaz, he lost to Carlos Diego Ferreira. No, that is not on my phone right now. I know that by memory. But yeah, I mean, you can't count Pettis out of a fight. Same as Donald Cerrone. You can't say that either of them are shit because they've had a couple losses. Like, you can't say that. Both of them are savages. They're veterans and they're both future Hall of Famers, in my opinion. In terms of past fights and the run they're currently on, I'm going to give the fight to Pettis. I know I haven't really bigged up Cowboy at all, but I did do that in the last video, and you can't say that I don't give Cowboy respect, man. He's an absolute warrior. As I said, future Hall of Famer, already a legend. One of, if not maybe the best, most popular and most respected fighter in MMA history to never win a UFC belt. The guy's an animal, but in my opinion, I think Pettis is going to catch him with a body shot or a head shot. He's going to catch him, he's going to hurt him, and I think we're going to see Cowboy get finished. I think Pettis is going to get the win by TKO in round 2. If I'm going to make a specific prediction, that's going to be it. Pettis, TKO, round 2. Oh, moving on to Jeremy Stephens, Calvin Kattar. Jeremy Stephens missed weight. This fight's at 150 pounds. Oh, it's such a shame, because in this very strange, very weird time in which we shouldn't really be having any sport, you would think the fighters would do their utmost best to make weight. And I'm not saying Jeremy Stephens didn't try. I'm saying it's really disappointing that he missed weight by 5 pounds, I believe. Or was it 5? 4.5? Tony Ferguson is such a savage that he made weight for a fight that he knew wasn't going ahead. The dude made 155 pounds for a fight he wasn't even going to have. That's how dedicated a fighter like Ferguson is. Again, I ain't saying Jeremy Stephens isn't dedicated and is not a professional. I mean, personally, I would go with Stephens to win, even though he did miss weight, and I'm clearly not very happy with him. I sound like a disappointed dad. But yeah, personally, I'd see Stephens taking this win, probably by finish. Calvin Kattar is a great fighter. He's world-class talent. He's knocked out Chris Fishgold, Ricardo Lamas. Went the distance against Zabit Magomedsharipov. I believe that's how you say Zabit's surname. But yeah, went 3 rounds against Zabit, which is not easy to do. Zabit's a ridiculously well-rounded fighter and can catch anyone with anything. Kattar's talented. but Stephens is a veteran and he's got dynamite in his hands. I saw a meme on Insta, he's the hardest hitting 150.5 pounder or something funny like that. So I'm going to take Jeremy Stephens by KO in round 2. Okay, before I move to the co-main event, here's one fight I forgot to talk about when recording this video. Ngannou versus Rosenstrike. Here's how I think that fight's going to go down. One of them's going to get hit and fall down, and the fight will be over by round 1. Yeah, there's my prediction for that one. Bang. Moving on to the co-main event, Dominic Cruz against Henry Cejudo for the bantamweight title. The Dominator and the King of Cringe. Oh yeah. Hey, listen, I respect Henry Cejudo for what he's doing and his craft. You know, he's created this King of Cringe character that is working for him. I mean, it's getting people talking about him. He's constantly on MMA Junkie and all these different news pages and memes on Insta, and he has generated this aura of a character. And you know it's a character. He puts it on. He makes himself look ridiculously stupid, but he gets people talking, and you can't not give him credit for that. In terms of personality and who's more interesting, you'd have to go with Cejudo based on the fact that he's a clown, but on the basis of who's more intelligent, Dominic Cruz is one of the smartest men in MMA, period. I mean, if you've never heard him commentate, if you've never seen when he went on Joe Rogan's podcast, if you've never heard him talk about the clinch and wrestling and footwork, and the guy is just a genius when it comes to MMA. He is a straight up genius. So that's a tough one. That's a really tough one because both guys are so good at what they do. Cejudo is on a streak right now where he continuously proves people wrong. When he beat Marlon Moraes, that was in June of last year. So he's been out for nearly a year already, but in his last 3 fights, he's beaten the greatest of all time at the time, Demetrius Johnson. He knocked out TJ Dillashaw in under a minute in a fight where I thought Dillashaw was hands down going to win. Like, 100% I took Dillashaw in that fight. Oh, if only I knew that he was taking EPO, man. Jeez, that's a shame. And then he beat Marlon Moraes in a fight, again, that I thought he was going to lose, and that he was losing for the first round. He was getting his ass beat. But then he turned it around and switched up the game plan, started landing that straight right. I remember it really well. He started busting up Marlon. And then Marlon got tired and Cejudo capitalized. Cejudo is a grinding wrestler. Like, when we're just talking about pure fighting, he is a grinder. He's a wrestler. He's tough. He's gritty. He doesn't mind getting in there and getting dirty and fighting like a proper gladiator, man. He doesn't give you a chance to breathe. Once you're tired and you start to slow down and he starts to land good shots and he fully has a way of getting in, he doesn't stop. And Cruz, despite the fact that he's been out for 3.5 years, I didn't realise that as well. I didn't put together in my head that his last fight was against Cody Garbrandt. He's proven that he can overcome ring rust. When he fought TJ Dillashaw and beat him, despite the fact that it was a close fight and it was a split decision, he won the fight. Like, hands down, he won. And he fought Dillashaw on a 1.5 year layoff and went 5 rounds with him and hung with him well and beat him. And I know that the layoff is a lot longer this time round, but he has proven that he can overcome the concept of ring rust. And if you listen to him talk about it, he will say that he doesn't believe in ring rust. He says there's no such thing as it. Cejudo has gotten so much better since Cruz fought last. He really has changed up his style since we last saw Cruz in the cage. And I feel, I mean, like, it's one of those scenarios where if it goes one way, this guy's going to win. If it goes the other way, the other guy's going to win. If the fight goes the distance, I think it will be Cruz's win, because I think he'll use his footwork and his movement and his speed and his ability to not get hit, and he'll take the fight by decision. I can't see Cejudo winning a decision, but at the same time, I can't see Cruz finishing Cejudo, and if it does end in a finish, I see Cejudo taking that. I think Cejudo will finish Dominic Cruz. I've thought about this a lot. I actually spoke to my dad about it yesterday, and at the time I thought Cruz was going to take the decision, and he said, nah, I think Cejudo's going to get the finish. And I thought about it more and more, and I thought, well, if he kicks that leg that Cruz has had injured many times, then Cruz may have trouble moving, and Cejudo is good at getting in close and walking fighters down and just grinding and finishing them. Fuck it, I'm going to copy my dad's prediction on this one. I'm going to say Henry Cejudo TKO round 3. And now, I sounded like a grandpa. I sounded like Bruce Buffer on a Zimmer frame. Main event, Justin Gaethje, Tony Ferguson. Oh God, yes. Composure. I'm excited for this fight. Like, at the end of the day, this is Right, end of the video, done. That's my analysis of the Gaethje-Ferguson fight. Yeah! Nah, for real, the Ferguson-Gaethje fight is just, it's a dream. It really is. Like, when you think of the 2 different styles that you're pitting against, it's 2 guys who have never taken a back step in their lives and have never not moved forward in fights, ever. You've got Gaethje, the Homer Simpson of MMA, who just is, well, known for walking forward and taking big shots and just overcoming that and kicking opponents' legs and finishing them. But as of late, he's become a knockout artist. 3 straight knockouts in a row. Donald Cerrone, Edson Barboza, James Vick, have all fallen in a row in the first round to the right hand of Justin Gaethje. So we know he's tough, we know he's crazy, we know he's out of his mind, but we also know that he has got dynamite in that right hand. Tony Ferguson is also nuts in his own way, but you gotta love him for it. You have to respect him for what he's doing. His knee surgery story, where he tripped over the cable and tore his knee, and then 6 months after surgery he was back in the cage, that's unheard of, and it is ridiculous. And he didn't even look in that fight against Pettis like he'd had any sort of surgery or any problems with his movement, anything that could have stifled his movement. He didn't look like he'd had surgery 6 months before. It's ridiculous. He is an absolute freak. That's the word to describe him, as a freak. He is so unorthodox and he's so good at moving towards his opponents and attacking them with anything he can see. He never really has a game plan or a strategy as far as I'm aware. He just goes in there and sees what shots are available and just lands with whatever limb he wants. And he's so good at walking opponents down and just breaking them and damaging them and hitting them body, head, elbows, punches, kicks, knees. He's so good at everything. And on top of that, I haven't even talked about his ground game. He's great on the ground as well. He's really good off of his back. He's got that triangle finish against Kevin Lee. He's got multiple Darce choke finishes. The dude is really well rounded. And I know Gaethje is a great wrestler, but we, as far as I'm aware, haven't really seen much of his jiu-jitsu and much of his overall ground game. We know he can shoot. We know he can probably stuff a takedown, but we haven't seen much of his jiu-jitsu. And that's where I think the fight could definitely change. I think if Ferguson is going to win this fight, he's got to submit Gaethje, because Gaethje could get caught with a few of those elbows and a few shots and he may take him down. We haven't seen him take people down much, but Tony Ferguson's a different animal and you can't make any mistakes against him. And if Gaethje starts getting caught, I wouldn't be surprised if he took Tony down. But Tony is so confident off of his back that I actually feel he may be better off of his back than Gaethje will against him on top. Oh man, this is really hard to explain. It is, like, you can't, I don't know, how do you be critical about this fight? Like, how do we know what's going to happen? Gaethje's got so much power in that right hand, man. Like, what if he catches Ferguson? Like, what if he catches him clean? Oh, my camera stopped. Here's what I think is going to happen. I think Ferguson is going to get caught early, which we've seen. We saw against Pettis that he can get caught. He sticks his chin up high. Pettis has caught him and hurt him. Cowboy caught him early. Like, he gets caught early because he keeps his chin up. He breaks away with his chin up. And Gaethje is so good at landing that overhand right. He knocked out Barboza with it. He knocked out James Vick with it. He knocked out Cowboy with it. He's hurt many people with that right hand, even if he hasn't knocked them out. Round 1, Gaethje's going to catch Ferguson. He's going to land that shot over the top, but he's not going to finish him. He's going to hurt him, but he won't finish him. Ferguson will get his bearings. He'll recover. He'll come into round 2, and he'll start to make him miss with that right hand, and then he'll start landing his own shots. He'll get those elbows going. He'll get those kicks going. He'll start to catch Gaethje a lot. He'll start to wear him down a bit. Gaethje won't back up. Gaethje will stay in the pocket and try and land those leg kicks, try and kick away at that knee. I reckon round 3 will be more of the same. Tony landing more shots, starting to break Gaethje down a bit more. Gaethje staying in the pocket, landing those shots. Basically a repeat of round 3. And then round 4, I think the fight is going to somehow end up on the ground. Either they get into a scuffle, Tony trips him or takes him down, or Gaethje takes him down. And I reckon Ferguson will catch him in a rear naked choke in round 4. That's a very specific prediction. I swear to God, if I get any of these right, I am, oh my God, I'm going to be on top of a mountain like that. I'm the king of MMA, bitches. Right, predictions done. I'm gassed for this event, UFC 249. I really did not think it was going to happen, but looks like it is. I mean, we've still got a few more hours to go, man, but oh, this is going to be sick. If you couldn't tell, I'm slightly looking forward to this, to be honest. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and let me know what you want down in the comments. If there's stuff you do or don't like about my channel, please tell me. I'm open to criticism, but I'm also open to compliments. So basically, only say nice things, otherwise you're getting banned. Right, I will see you guys in a bit. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.